We begin our journey in Genesis 14, a chapter that takes us to the heart of an ancient Middle Eastern war. 4 kings ally themselves against 5, in a conflict that spans from the plains of Shinar to the valleys of Siddim. The setting is the desert, the dust rises to the sound of marching armies. The victory of Kedorlaomer and his allies over the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, the war of 4 kings against 5 kings, brings not only the capture of goods, but also of people, including the imprisoned Lot, Abram's nephew. And it is here that our story begins to unfold in dramatic fashion. The Battle of Genesis 14 is not just a territorial dispute, but a metaphor for the spiritual struggles we face daily. Lot, who had chosen the fertile lands near Sodom, now finds himself captured. This makes us reflect on the choices we make, often attracted by what seems to be advantageous, but which can lead us to difficult situations. How many times do we not find ourselves in modern captivity, trapped by poorly calculated decisions? At the end of this video we have a special message about spiritual struggles, for our current days. Archaeological context. The events of Genesis 14 take us to a time when city-states such as Sodom and Gomorrah prospered on the shores of the Dead Sea. Archaeological finds near what are believed to be the ruins of Sodom indicate the existence of an advanced civilization, but also one that was suddenly destroyed. Ceramic objects and remains of fortifications suggest that the region was prosperous before its fall, echoing the biblical narrative. Biblical studies. Chapter 14 of Genesis is unique because it is the first time the Bible mentions the word Hebrew, referring to Abram. This marks a turning point in the biblical narrative, where Abraham is not just a patriarch, but a leader who intervenes in history to save his nephew. This episode teaches us about the importance of leadership and family responsibility, values that still resonate strongly in our day. Archaeological finds. Recently, traces of ancient trade routes that connected the cities mentioned in Genesis 14 were discovered, indicating an intense traffic of goods and cultures. Among the finds are cuneiform records, which are texts written with a wedge-shaped tool developed in ancient Mesopotamia between 3500 and 3000 BC, which describe treaties and wars between these kingdoms, confirming the historicity of events similar to those described in the Bible. These finds reinforce the veracity of Scripture and invite us to explore how ancient civilizations influenced the modern world. Like Abraham, we are called to intervene in the battles of our day, be they family, spiritual or social. Genesis 14 is not just an ancient story, but a mirror that makes us reflect on the struggles we face today. May we learn from the past, make wise decisions, and be leaders in our circles, just as Abram was in his time. After Lot's capture, a survivor of the battle comes to Abram, who lives near the oak groves of Mamre. Without hesitation, Abram gathers his 318 trained servants and sets out on a daring rescue mission. The narrative intensifies when Abram and his men, with a surprising strategy, attack during the night, defeating the armies of Kedorlaomer and his allies. This act of bravery not only frees Lot, but also recovers all the plundered goods. Abram, a man of faith, also becomes an example of courage and leadership. Abram's courage in facing powerful kings teaches us about the strength that comes from faith. He was not a trained warrior, but he trusted God to guide him. In our lives, we are often called to battles for which we do not feel prepared today, but, like Abram, we can find strength in faith and the righteousness of our causes. This episode reminds us that with God, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. Archaeological context. The location of Abram's attack is traditionally associated with Dan, an area in the north of Israel today. Archaeological excavations in the region have revealed ancient fortifications and traces of a thriving civilization, which corroborates the strategic importance of this region in biblical times. These discoveries help to contextualize the narrative of Genesis 14, showing that Abram and his men faced enemies in a territory of great military and economic importance. They were probably celebrating and dividing the spoils of war, so God hands them over to Abram and his 318 men, who defeat the 4 kings, free Lot and reclaim all the stolen spoils. Bible studies. Genesis 14 also introduces an enigmatic figure, Melchizedek, king of Salem and priest of the Most High God. When Abraham returns victorious, Melchizedek meets him and blesses him, offering him bread and wine. This moment is significant, for Melchizedek is seen in the New Testament as symbolizing an eternal priesthood. Melchizedek's blessing on Abraham highlights the covenant between God and his people, and teaches us about the importance of gratitude and honoring God after victories. Archaeological finds. Although Melchizedek is a unique figure, Salem is identified with ancient Jerusalem. Excavations in Jerusalem have revealed layers of occupation dating back to the Bronze Age, confirming that the city was already an important center at the time of Abraham. Finds such as pottery fragments where carbon-14 dating is a radiometric dating method that allows determining the age of objects containing carbon. And remains of buildings suggest a prosperous city, which may have been ruled by a leader like Melchizedek. This lends credibility to the biblical narrative, connecting the events described with historical and archaeological evidence. At the end of chapter 14, we see Abraham refusing the spoils offered by the king of Sodom. His refusal is an example of integrity and trust in God to provide. In a world where we are constantly tempted by material gains, Abraham teaches us the value of maintaining our principles and trusting that what comes from God is what we truly need. May we, like Abraham, choose the path of righteousness, even when the world offers us quick riches. Invisible battles of the heart and mind. Our faith is the most powerful weapon, and with it, we can achieve victories that transform our lives. Do not act without thinking, wait, this is not retreating, but rather stopping, then move forward, because God will give you an answer. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And remember, each day is a new opportunity to call on the name of the Lord. Until next time.